welcome to Angel's Table. Joining us today are Parker with his newly shorn hair.
Oh yeah.
There's been mixed conversations about this. Everyone's either love it, well everybody loves it, but some people say love his long hair, miss the long hair, but yeah, we at the table all love it, but I did love his long hair too. And Denise, again. And
with her new hair, but she's
with
already
her,
been on a few
I
episodes.
know, and Denise, so everybody has a new hairdo. And next week, hopefully, I will have a new hairdo. And Rachael, who's not expecting a new hairdo. No, she's perfect. She's perfect the way she is.
I mean,
I was waiting for you to say something else.
Yeah, well, you know, we got to get it started right away here. It's
Insane.
probably a good thing we got you on two different sides of the table.
I can move over there so she can hit me.
No,
So-
someone's sitting here.
And we don't have anything against Brad either, although I guess I can use this and you can
I can get creative.
You can get
Yeah.
creative, yeah. Okay, so today our conversation is about how offended our society gets about
Stupid
random
shit.
everything, stupid
Everything.
things. Yes. So,
Which, as we were saying just a bit before, I was taking as like people my age, our age, being whiny in like colleges and protesting stuff that doesn't matter. But you were thinking more stuff like the Redskins or Starbucks coffee.
I was talking about anything in
Yeah.
general, but I want to go to what you're talking about because this conversation kind of came about because of you. You just always getting so mad at people for being offended about anything or being annoyed by anything.
Well, because like on a personal level, like I find like being like for me, like being offended, I find to be like a personal failure. I don't like. I feel like that's just like
Interesting.
it's nothing. It's not productive. It's pointless.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I feel that way too. Okay, there are things that happen in our world that they're really stupid.
And that's not to say like I don't think like certain things shouldn't go the way they do. Like the Redskins like doesn't personally offend me. So like mostly nothing does. But I think don't be the Redskins. You're not gonna have the white skins or the black skins. It's like but
the only difference with that one is that for Native Americans, Redskins is like saying N-word to
yeah, exactly.
And so whether we understand that,
Yeah.
whether we understand it or not,
Exactly.
calling any
You can
racial
sympathize.
group like
I get that.
and having
that
a
one I totally
team
get.
called,
Yeah.
it's like if they had a team
But
called N-word,
Oh my God.
we would be offended.
I always thought it was one of my friends used to say, just like change your mascot to a potato and then you're fine. It's like you don't have to stop being Redskins, you'll just be potatoes.
Oh my gosh, potato skins?
No, you be Redskins in reference to potatoes.
Oh, a disaster.
It's like how that would whoa.
Where's your friend in life right
Oh my
now?
gosh.
No, this is not at all a racist thing. It's like Redskin potatoes. Jesus.
Yes, I got that. But there's so many more productive ways to fix
No. I'm not saying that's the way to do it. I just thought it was funny.
Okay, so I want to say something about that. So, no, in that case, now with that particular thing, there are times that, with the Redskins, it's been that for so long that, to me, I didn't even have a reference to anything because it's been the Redskins for so long. So it was like, okay, well, all of a sudden you're bringing this out. But understandably, I understand that.
Yeah.
That's not one that's, that it's a stupid one. That actually makes sense. Okay, I will bring one up. There was a team at Georgia.
Before we move on from that, the only thing I want to say is that has always been a complaint, but it just finally
Got to the forefront.
got a lot of
Because this
publicity.
matters
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, but it's always been, they
Yeah.
complained from the very beginning and they just wouldn't do anything about it. But I think that, in a way, because some of the nations have more economic power because of the casinos and things, that they can force more attention to that matter than they could before.
Right.
I don't think they had any clout before.
Right. I think that with that, it's one of those things where people who are fans of that team, that's always what it's been called. So of course you don't want anything to change. but understandably, sometimes some things really do need to change, and that is an instance where I think that it absolutely makes sense. Okay, now Georgia, okay, what is the name of this? Georgia Kennesaw State U, their team was Hooters. And now that people were up in a roar about that it was Hooters. So it's like, okay, they're owls.
Is their mascot an owl? Yeah, oh, that's what I was going to say. So
You know, so it's like,
not
now
boobs.
we're just, no. So now we're just coming up with things to be annoyed by. And we don't need to be annoyed by everything. And I know you were saying there's a bunch of stuff on college campuses. I don't know specifically.
They have stuff like rooms where kids can go to be like safe rooms, and they like go and listen to relaxing music, and it's like, grow the fuck up.
But is there anything wrong with having? I mean, okay, safe if it's called a safe room. Now, if you're calling it a meditative room, giving you someplace to go to
that's
calm down.
entirely different. This is a room where like kids can go like relive being a child, as opposed to just like being in a calm, relaxed state. Like that's fine.
Okay. There's two problems with being overly offended now, and it starts with the world is globalized. Everybody knows everything from anywhere. Something could happen in the Middle East and we'd know within a minute type of deal, which isn't always bad, but the way people are reacting to that type of communication is getting out of hand. So when things like this come up, it's important to reprioritize what is important, not just to you, but to society. I mean, there's 100 things we could actually be offended about. Things we've talked on the show before, but it's chosen not to be public, or publicity isn't on that. Instead, it's on stories like these. So we need to kind of reverse back a little bit, look in ourselves, and choose our battles and our passions, because having a safe room, the fact that there needs to be safe rooms like that, this is my
I would say that, yeah, okay.
So, I agree with you in that regard, but taking how society is now, everybody's free for all. So you need to roll it back a little bit and decide, these are the causes that are important to me. These are the causes that would, maybe focus on America, bring America forward, and start from there, because there's so many better things we could be focusing on.
Well, I think that for me is what I find frustrating, is that we have so many conversations. I mean, the news is really absurd. And, they will go on and on at length about the most absurd topics, and you think, no wonder they're spending all of their time mad about something that really is irrelevant to your life happiness and life goals and just life in general. It's very frustrating. But I'm gonna give you a couple more. Oreo had a cookie with a rainbow filling in it, and people were freaking out about it.
Well, I mean, I absolutely am not, like, I'm completely pro gay marriage and everything, but I mean, if you think about these people, like the Duck Dynasty person, there's a comedian that's talking about this that I'm totally paraphrasing. Dude's like 70, and he grew up being told, like, from the time he was a child, gay marriage is bad, it's bad, don't do it, like everything. And then, he just lives his life being like indoctrinated by that. So I'm not saying, it's not, that it's good. I'm saying if you understand that's where they're coming from, you can move forward with it, kind of. I know, about that, yeah, sure. But
I know, it's like, wait, is he thinking, okay, is he being mad about a rainbow cookie?
No, but people take it, and maybe that even is what it is. Is it supposed to be? I don't even know about this cookie.
I think it was after the gay marriage.
So it is about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people where this is a personal thing. They do not like this. This is like.
So don't buy the Oreos.
Well,
they have the rainbow thing. Get the regular ones.
Right.
And that's kind of my. I just don't think that everybody has to be in lockstep with their thinking and what they say.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that a lot of times people will say something that's mean-spirited, and I think that I can understand when people take offense to it. But when somebody says something out of ignorance and then somebody tells them, well, you know, that means blah, 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 they're like, oh my goodness. I mean, this is a stupid example, but the Netflix and chill thing. I thought it meant watch a movie, you know, and then sit back and hang out with your friend. I had no idea what it meant. But
It's a
just,
booty call, Mom.
yeah, and so when somebody says Netflix and chill. So, I mean, at my age, of course, I didn't know what that meant. But,
which is too bad, because
but I'm just saying,
I like
there's so
I
many
like to
things that
literally
you don't.
Netflix and chill. Like, those are fun things.
Yeah,
I see
and so, but I'm just saying that if somebody says something out of ignorance and then somebody tells them what it means, it's like, well, no, that's not what I meant. You know, I meant blah, 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 or I didn't know that was, you know, that this was the context of this remark, then that's a whole.
That goes happens. Who came up with chill meaning booty call? Come on already.
No, it's not chill. It's not even like
It's
it doesn't
the
mean booty
entire
call.
thing
It's
together.
it's like code. It's code.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, ooh, solid. I like that code.
Yeah.
Let's call it code.
It's like,
But
hey, you want to come over
it
and
goes-
Netflix and chill? People know it, and like.
it goes back to
They know
that
what you
educated
mean.
thing. You didn't know. Parker told you. You know about this. Back to this Oreo thing. If somebody is that offensive, and what we were saying before, the world is such a big place, but now we have access to it. You have no excuse to be ignorant anymore. I don't care how you grew up. I don't care what your beliefs are. If you don't agree with it, I hope you have an educated reason to back that up, because getting pissed over this Oreo cookie, again, it's a cookie. Those are like the two main words that we should focus on at the moment. But if there's something that offends you, what is the main purpose and reason why that offends you? Is it actually a cookie, or is it a bigger picture? Because half of the news, like you were saying, is how people are reacting to things. Back in the day, before us, boycotting actually meant something. Now we're boycotting Beyonce and Target. More stuff for me at Target. You know what I mean? I just don't understand the population's thinking in 99% of
I don't
the
either.
situations.
And I've gotten to the point where I'm watching the news and I'm surprised that somebody's reacting. I'm like, really? You know, I mean, seriously? Come on. You know, it's
Sometimes it's
crazy.
very aggravating, and you see people having these conversations, and you know, partially you wonder sometimes too. Okay, the news is doing all their drama about whatever, and then people get on board and start, you know, saying what they have to say, and it's all on the internet. And, you know, nobody's having these conversations face to face, so a lot of it is mean spirited, and a lot of it, you know, there's like this core anger, and so sometimes I wonder where that, you know, like you said, it's a bigger picture. There's some hidden anger in them that makes them so mad about this. It's like, why? Who cares about the darn rainbow cookie? Or
Well, I want to say, if the cookie, if the decision went the opposite way, and the cookie basically said, "Hey, fuck you, gay marriage isn't a thing," that would be bad. Like, so it's rubbing it in the face of people that feel the polar opposite of this. And I'm not saying that they are in the right. I would believe they are in the wrong, but I'm saying it's like rubbing it in their face.
But on the other side of that is that,
yeah,
you know, it's not like they made all of their cookies rainbow colors.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I think it's a preposterous thing to be upset about, but it is like, say you're just minding your business, going to the grocery store, being hardcore fundamental Christian, you're like, I'm gonna get some Oreos. You walk by the gay pride Oreos and you just stop, and you're just sad that this world is not what you want.
yeah.
That's what it is. And that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
so-
people being upset because it's not the way they
Yeah.
want it. You know.
Yeah, so I'm not defending them. I just kind of I like to know where people are coming from.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the world right now is playing telephone, global telephone, and it's this snowball collective thinking
That's how I'm
that
getting it.
we kind of miss in each other. One person is kind of upset, then the next person hears it and takes it to a whole new level, and it's just this ridiculous mountain that people are trying to climb to be at the top and put the flag in the snow and say, I win, I'm the most offended, I'm going to create a Facebook page. So
It's
when we take a step back and stop listening to other people, maybe take a moment and take the news for what it is, which is a little bit of BS mixed in with some
a lot of
truth.
BS with the
And
realtors.
so we need, as I said before, to go back and what is important to us, what is important to society, and why are some people still promoting hate, essentially.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it does kind of go to what you were both saying, is that if you're used to, especially given Christian values, that this is what you expect from life, this is how you were raised, and now all these things are happening in life that are not to your value system, and you're thinking, well, gosh, the world is out of control now. And so, right, and I
And then
get
there's that fear when they feel that everything's out of control. You know, I thought I understood everything.
yeah.
interesting.
And now all of a sudden it's something different, and I don't like that because it makes me uncomfortable, because it means that I don't really understand what's happening and I don't have any control. You know, you don't, but some people are so uncomfortable with not.
I am sorry that I got us so on topic of the cookies and not about what the actual topic was.
Oh, I just want a cookie.
I felt
Cookie too.
I felt passionate about
I
conveying
hate that I
people.
missed the rainbow colored Oreo.
I didn't even know
That's
that.
kind of cool.
I didn't know it was a thing.
I didn't either.
I don't watch the news. I don't know about these topics.
That's how fast they took it. They took it out.
Oh, they took it out.
I mean, it was barely a thing, and it might only even have been an advertisement, but it was up and it was gone.
Wow.
Because that's how fast people reacted to it. And, you know, in that case, I mean, even if it was just the advertisement, that's kind of a sad statement that we are that non-compassionate that we're going to just be immediately to take this thing down.
Well,
And
why would they want to be compassionate? They want to make money.
Well, there was also the commercial.
I didn't.
There was a commercial that had a biracial family. I forgot what it was, a cereal commercial or something like that.
Right.
And I remember that they pulled that pretty quickly. I got a chance. I saw it. I thought it was sweet.
I always love seeing
any
Yeah,
because
commercial
that's
like
a lot of people's families look like
That's
that.
we have family that looks like that.
Mine too. You
Yeah,
know, it's like why? And it was just sad that people were so offended by that.
Barella pasta
I
did the
thought
same
that
thing.
was actually, I agree with you, it was sad that why do you not understand that?
Especially now,
Welcome
it
to the world.
seems like 30 years too late to be offended by that.
Exactly.
There's so much mix
Exactly.
anymore, you know, it's, I don't know.
It's not mixed, it's a family.
Humans.
People need to at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
very
Human
core
family.
of this conversation is people are humans and they're going to react accordingly, but they're going to react because they're uncomfortable, like you said, or they're going to react because they're unhappy. But why do we have to take that animalistic approach when everything is always attention? You know, whether you know that a conversation is being filmed or you're live tweeting something, you can be traced back to any behavior, any opinion. So why would you take that moment and just spurt something out that you could later regret, or is just something that is so wrong?
Yeah.
I'll never
There
understand.
was that musician, I think we talked about it once
Rob
before,
Thomas.
that had made those comments about Aboriginal people in Australia,
Well,
and it was just such a big uproar, and it was, and he didn't understand. When
Yeah.
he found out what that meant within their context, he apologized.
Right.
But people weren't willing to accept the apology. It's like, come
Right.
on,
Which is-
you know.
Right.
it comes
And
from
I'll
because
tell you
it
what the
was
story
because
was.
he was I mean, it was out of ignorance, and once he became aware of it, he apologized.
But see, this is one of those cases when he wasn't being ignorant, he was just being flip. You know, he was like, I'm so drunk I think I'm Australian. Because the whole flight, they were drinking. So,
Yeah, he
Apparently,
wasn't.
so-
Was that the
and
comment?
that's,
Oh,
that was the comment.
So it wasn't
That was
even
the
that he was
comment.
saying Australians are drunk. He's saying I'm so drunk I'm forgetting what I am.
Yeah, that I, all of a
Okay.
sudden a different nationality. You know, that's
Yeah.
what he was saying, because that's how drunk he was. So, you know what? And how often do you say stupid things like that? And it's sort of funny. I mean,
Because
really,
we
it
always
should've-
say,
it should've
everybody
been
said,
funny.
I mean, if I
It
had,
should've been
if I
funny.
had to
But
be
you're
accountable for every stupid thing I ever said,
I know,
if I
right?
had been foolish enough, you know,
But
at
we
one
were saying,
point,
trying to say,
but
yeah.
at one point, you know, that's what's so sad about social media, because when you say it and you realize that you said something stupid, you can't recant without everybody knowing what you just said.
Right, right.
You can delete it.
I want to finish. I don't want to. I
But
want to
still, it can be
completely.
found.
I want to completely let you know what that context was. So apparently, it's not Australians, but
It's
they're
the
the Aboriginal.
They have
Right. I guess they do.
alcoholism.
Right.
like,
So that's why,
reference.
and that he was supposed to be making reference to that. Well, you know, it goes back to what you said about it's the internet and communication is
Right.
fast. You can't be ignorant to it. Well, didn't know that. I would never have known that until that came up. So
You can't
So
know
you
everything
can't-
about
yeah,
social
there's-
problems in every single
But then
country.
the other part of that is that people were criticizing him is that you should have known that. It's like,
Why?
okay, if I'm going on a multi-country, multi-city tour, am I supposed to know that people in Cleveland don't want you to accidentally say that they're from, that, people in Cleveland do this? You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh,
you're just you're expecting too much.
Yeah,
You're really
and
expecting too much.
Yeah,
I don't know him personally.
I don't even know who he
I
is. I've
know.
never heard his music, but I mean, it's
seriously, he's probably one of the nicest.
which is kind of like what I was saying at the beginning, that I think being offended is a personal thing, or like a failure. Like I don't ever want anybody to have to walk on eggshells around me. So it's kind of just weird. It's like it's a culture of spreading out eggshells everywhere. It's like
Equal opportunity offender for all comedians.
like,
Interesting.
and I just don't want anybody to have to do that for me. If someone says something, I'm like, you're wrong, but okay.
And I tend to be, more so than you, I really seriously just find nothing offensive. It's
Except
like,
for nudity.
it's not that I find it offensive. It's just like, seriously, do we have to have it everywhere? Can we not?
Only on HBO. Only on HBO.
And in all the breakdowns for film for new actresses, it's like nothing without nudity. That's
Because it
why.
hits close to home, so that you're uncomfortable with it. It hits close to home, hence why there might be in Parker's
Well,
words
my
why you're
daughter
offended.
is naked, and I wanted
Exactly.
I wanted to have a
Exactly.
career without having to do that. So, but I do. I feel like I so sometimes maybe I go to the extreme opposite and go, I seriously don't understand why we're upset about this, and then people start saying, well, this is why, and it's like, okay, I get it, I understand it, but I don't know. I just feel like finding a place where you understand
Well, I guess even I
other
think
people.
being offended is fine, just as long as you're not making it someone else's problem.
Ooh, interesting. I like that.
I
Alright.
love
Another
that.
good
All right.
point.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And unless anybody has any more to say about this, I think that's a perfect place to stop.
Drop
It's
some
pretty
money.
freaking awesome, Parker. I gotta hand it to you.
This is close to home.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I can tell you liked this subject.
Well,
This one you
she
like.
kept talking about okay, so I know this is something you have a lot of thoughts on, but there was one other time that she's like, do you want to do this subject? And I'm like, I'm not heated about anything right now. I don't know what I'd talk about. And even before this, I was like, I don't know what I'd talk about. But then we went into it, and I'm like, I think being offended is no. It was like, why?
Being offended is a personal choice.
Yeah.
It is a
It
personal
really
choice.
is, because
Yeah.
it's personal, but when you make it people's problem, like you said, that's when it becomes an issue. So, I like that.
Yeah.
Tweeting that later.
I really like that.
Just quote me on it.
That's
Obviously.
Bravo.
awesome. Leave it to Parker to come up with one really good
Some
line
truth
for the
knowledge
show.
out of
Yes.
And spreading eggshells all around you. I mean, I thought that was a great analogy. I'm like, okay, that's great. Because there are people that, that you do feel like you have to, when you're around them, you have to walk on eggshells. I don't want to be around this. No.
Yeah.
It's,
More
it's
so,
too hard.
I don't want to be that
That
person.
person
Right,
I
either.
don't know.
No.
It's not a comfortable place to be upset and offended by everything everyone says. And I would rather, there are things that I don't agree with and I don't really care for, but it's not going to, send me into a tailspin and, end up being a very miserable person because of it. I'd rather be happy and just go, okay, whatever. It's not directly affecting me, so whatever you're going to do, and go for it. Have fun.
My baseline is joy. That's where I start from now. Sometimes I may
Yeah.
step off that little base a little bit,
Oh,
but
yeah, we all do.
yeah, but
You
I'll
can't
go back
help it.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But when you get to that point of being joyful and happy and you realize what a great place this is, I really don't want to engage with all that drama anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Great conversation, guys.
I won.
Success.
You
That
win.
win?
You always win.
Always
You
win. The trophy here is the trophy for your
even
male
win over
ego.
Rachael, who is the
It's not a male ego. It's an ego.
So you do get offended. I win. Trophy comes back.
I'm not offended. You don't laugh when you're offended.
You do.
That's a good point. Because I think then me being offended means I'm gonna laugh because I think it's funny.
Okay, fair.
So I don't
I
think it's
still get the
offensive.
joke.
Yeah,
It's not
so
offensive.
he might, like for a moment, but then it's like, yeah, whatever.
But I'm also commenting on that it's not a male ego, it's just an ego. Why does everything gotta be, oh, it's just male ego? Maybe he's just egotistical. There are women that are egotistical. People don't say women.
We can compromise and drop the male. How's that?
Okay, good.
Deal.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for joining us.